Hello friends, this is Dr. Ritvi. Welcome to Homoeopathy, the Healing Power. Friends, let's take an example. There are 4 patients suffering from heart diseases. All of these patients are prescribed homeopathic medicine. Let's say the first patient is prescribed cactus, the second patient is prescribed naja, the third patient is prescribed homeopathic mother tincture crataegus, and the fourth patient is prescribed Digitalis. Friends, all of these medicines are prescribed after detailed case taking and on the basis of totality of symptoms. Friends, do you know what are those signs and symptoms that have made the final selection of this remedy to all of these patients suffering from same diseases of similar body part? Of course, these are the signs seen in the patient. Of course, those are the symptoms narrated by the patient to the doctors. But all of these signs and symptoms of similar disease condition differs from each other. And these signs and symptoms have made a final selection of remedy which is not at all same for all of these patients. Friends, if you will watch this video till the end, then you will surely understand what are those signs and symptoms that makes the final selection of the remedy Digitalis for that patient who had suffered from heart disease in this example. Well, in detail, signs and symptoms of rest of the other remedies like cactus and crataegus have already discussed on our channel. If you have not watched those videos till now, then I'm posting the link in the description box and in the I button. Please go and watch it out. Now, from this example, let's pick out the remedy Digitalis. So, in this video, we are going to study in detail about the homeopathic remedy Digitalis. To understand the signs and symptoms of Digitalis, watch this video till the end. If you are still watching the video and have not subscribed the channel till now, then subscribe the channel, press the bell icon and select option all so that you will get notified whenever a new video is uploaded from Homoeopathy, the Healing Power. Also, give this video a like, share this video among homeopathic students and new practitioners. So let's get started. Digitalis purpurae, commonly called as fox glue, proved by Dr. Samuel Hahnemann sir, belongs to the family Scrofulariaceae. Of course, this medicine comes under vegetable kingdom and the medicinal plant is found in large quantity in Europe. The main action of this remedy is seen on heart and on circulation, as well as gastrointestinal tract, urogenital organs also comes under the action of this remedy. So, by acting on heart, by acting on the cardiac peripheral end of vagus nerve, this remedy inhibits the action of heart. That is, it inhibits the activity of heart, which results in slow heart rate. Friends, keep in your mind this key point, slow heart rate, as well as it prolongs the diastole and then raises the blood pressure. This is the action of Digitalis on heart and on circulation. And by acting on genitourinary organs, it suppresses the production of urine, thus resulting in edema. As we all know that if the kidney doesn't work, that is the eliminating process, the process of removing toxins from the body, that is through urine, if the urine gets suppresses, of course edema is seen in the body. As well as by acting on gastrointestinal tract, it irritates the gastrointestinal tract and produces the symptoms like vomiting and diarrhea. Friends, it is a short remedy, have a very limited and to the point action, especially seen on heart. It is not so polycrest remedy, so constitution is not so important. However, few points like edema seen over the body, like edema seen on face, edema seen on extremities of patient with cyanosis, with slow heart rate, with palpitation, with weak heart seen in the patient can be helpful for us for the final prescription of the remedy. Thermally, these are the chilly patients because cold in any terms, let's say cold air, cold food, cold drink, aggravates the complaints. As well as this remedy has scrofulous diathesis. All the symptoms in Digitalis are caused because of excessive consumption of alcohol, because of excessive consumption of tobacco, and because of high living, so-called high modernized living with sexual excess. So all of these factors are responsible to produce sign and symptoms and disease condition in Digitalis patient. Now let's see the keynote symptoms of Digitalis. Starting first with the most important keynote symptom of Digitalis, which is always seen in every heart disease, and that is the patient suffers from deathly nausea. Severe nausea and vomiting is seen along with faint sinking feeling at the pit of the stomach. So this sinking type of sensation is always felt by the patient at the epigastrium region, that is nothing but at the pit of the stomach. This extreme weakness and deadly sinking sensation are the keynote symptom of Digitalis. The next important keynote symptom seen in this patient is that the patient suffers from great anxiety. This anxiety is caused because the patient feels as if a slight exertion or any kind of movement carried out by the patient will lead to stoppage of activity of heart. So here the patient has a sensation as if the heart would stand still if the patient will move here and there. That is the reason here the patient avoids any type of movement. This deadly nausea, extreme weakness and anxiety and the fear as if the heart would stop because of a slightest movement produces an undescribable uneasiness vaguely felt at the region of heart. In medical terms, it can be described as a oppression feeling. And this oppression and this extreme uneasiness felt in the heart region is also nothing but the next keynote symptom of Digitalis. Again, motion aggravates most of these complaints. That is the reason motion aggravation is also the next important keynote symptom of Digitalis in heart patients. The pulse of these patients are always very slow and weak. This is again an important characteristic symptom of Digitalis. As well as slow, weak, irregular, intermittent pulse are seen in this patient. They always intermittent at every 3rd, 5th and 7th beat. The action of Digitalis is not just limited up to heart. It also acts well on liver. As we have seen, Digitalis acts on gastrointestinal tract, where a specific action is also seen on liver. So any type of heart diseases now leads to sluggishness of liver indicates Digitalis. The liver is now in a diseased state, not working well because of heart diseases. As a result of these hepatic disturbances, the patient here passes white stool or sometimes ash colored or chalky stool. With great nausea is felt by the patient at a sight or even at a smell of the food. Along with this great nausea, it is seen that the tongue of the patient is always clean with extreme bitter taste in the mouth. Along with these hepatic disturbances, slow, weak pulse, palpitation, cyanosis and edema is always seen. The cardiac diseases in the Digitalis is caused because of excessive consumption of alcohol, because of consumption of tobacco, because of so-called high living and because of sexual excess. Now the patient is suffering from any diseases of heart. Especially at the climacteric age, a patient suffering from heart diseases indicates Digitalis. A weak heart without any valvular complications indicates Digitalis purpurae. Here, the patient suffers from sudden sensation as if the heart would stop if the patient will move or if the patient will do any type of exertion. As well as the patient has extreme feeling of uneasiness, a vague sinking feeling felt at the pit of the stomach. The uneasiness is felt at the region of heart. Irregular, slow and weak pulse are noted, and this is the clinical sign of a heart patient indicating digitalis. The heart's action is very feeble and slow. The heartbeat intermittents at every 3rd, 5th and 7th beat. As discussed earlier, the pulse are slow and weak. A stitching pain is felt by the patient in the region of heart. This stitching pains comes on at every 15 minutes. These pains last for only 5 to 6 seconds, but they reoccur at every 15 minutes. A sudden flush of heat is felt by the patient with extreme nervousness and weakness. Along with this, the patient also suffers from extreme faintness and sinking feeling in the pit of the stomach with great exhaustion. The face of the patient is pale, bluish red with cyanosed skin, swelling seen in the eyelids. The cyanosis is also seen in the tongue and in the eyelids. Dropsical condition of the entire body is seen because of cardiac diseases. This dropsical condition or this edema is seen in the fits, in the hands, and sometimes both internal and external edema is also noted in some of the patients. In this state, the respiration becomes irregular and difficult with deep sighing. In extreme cases, fatal syncope may occur when the patient is being raised in upright position. Extreme prostration is felt by the patient, and because of this extreme prostration, patient feels as if he would die. This great weakness is again felt at the chest region, and during this great weakness, the patient cannot even bear to talk. All of these symptoms generally gets aggravated by any movement. For all type of kidney diseases which are caused or which are aggravated because of excessive consumption of alcohol, tobacco or sexual excess indicates digitalis. So digitalis is always indicated with following symptoms. That is, the patient presents a typical picture of edema seen both internally and externally along with suppression of urine seen. So here the patient suffers from great desire to pass the urine, and whenever the patient passes the urine, patient passes a very little quantity of urine, giving no relief. And here the patient feels that some quantity of urine is left behind, but a complete satisfaction is never achieved. And whatever quantity of urine is passed, urine is of turbid, thick and scanty in nature. So here, because of the less quantity of urine is passed, the patient suffers from the feeling of fullness in the bladder. This fullness is even present after urination. Along with that, a patient also suffers from burning sensation felt in the urethra with purulent, thick yellowish discharge is also seen, as well as throbbing, burning pain is also felt while passing the urine. Friends, these were the kidney and the heart symptoms of digitalis, and because of these degradable diseases, the patient always suffers from great melancholy and sadness. The patient is always despondent, full of fears, and always anxious about the future. A dullness of all the senses is seen in this patient, and every shock strikes in the epigastrium. That means every little shock is felt in the epigastrium. It is nothing but an uneasy sensation and a vague feeling felt by the patient. Patient is dull, lethargic, with slow pulse, as well as the patient is very forgetful, with weak memory and finds difficulty in thinking. All of the symptoms in digitalis gets aggravated by sitting erect, after having meals, by even listening music, because music aggravates most of the mental symptoms, as well as slightest motion also aggravates the heart symptoms. The patient feels better when the stomach is empty, and also the patient feels better in open air. Digitalis antidotes the action of camphora. This remedy is incompatible to China. While talking about the potency, generally the lower potencies are prescribed, that is from 3rd to 38th potency is prescribed, and in some cases the mother tinctures also works well. So friends, this is all about Digitalis. Please leave your valuable feedback and any suggestion in the comments section given below. Like this video, share this video and subscribe the channel to meet again. Thank you for watching.